Welcome to the IADS the game, how to play walkthrough. No part of this presentation is actually classified. Overview. Your objective is to destroy adversary weapon systems. By doing so, you gain attrition points. Gain more attrition points than your opponents to win. The game is split into setup, gameplay, and game end. In gameplay are 3 phases: the draft phase, the deploy phase, and the combat phase. First, let's set up. Here, Player 1 and Player 2 are seated on opposite sides of a table. The stack of cards represents their deck. To simplify, we won't set up any terrain. See the ROE for details on how to play with terrain. Search the deck and remove 4 headquarters cards, or HQ cards, along with the turn order card. In a 2-player game like this, give 1 HQ card to each player and set the other 2 HQ cards aside. Put the turn order card someplace on the table with the turn order token on it. We'll use these in the combat phase. Next, we'll shuffle the deck and deal 5 cards to each player. For longer games, you can deal more cards. For shorter games, deal less. Set the rest of the deck aside along with the other components. Now, we'll enter the first phase of gameplay, the draft phase. Each player now looks at their 5 cards, chooses 1, then gives the remaining 4 cards to their opponent, face down. Each player picks up their new hand, selects 1 card, putting it face down on their side. Both players repeat this process until all cards are distributed. Now that we've finished the draft phase, it's time to deploy weapon systems. Both players will pick up their cards along with their HQ cards, and then place them strategically in the battle space, face down. We'll leave them face up briefly for demonstration. Deployed cards must be closer to the deploying player than to any opponent. This creates an invisible forward edge of the battle space. Aircraft can be placed into formations of up to 2 aircraft. We'll flip them how they would have been placed in a real game as cards are undetected. The adversary does not have a targeting solution for them yet. To avoid confusion, use the team markers to be clear which units belong to each player. This ends the deploy phase. It's time for the combat phase. Use the turn order card to moderate combat. All players follow the turn order card. Once declared, actions from any player will initiate and resolve at the same time as all other players. During issue orders, each player selects a unit or formation to command for the turn.
Issue orders.
Units and formations are selected by physically pointing at them.
Action 1.
Once each player has selected a unit or formation for issue orders, move the turn order token to Action 1 on the turn order card. During Action 1, units and formations can do anything next to the number 1 on their card.
I'll fly for Action 1.
I'll detect.
Player 2 decides to detect with the long-range SAM, which has a range of 3. Distance for range and for speed are measured in card diameters. This creates the threat ring for the long-range SAM illustrated here. Units must flip to detect or shoot. Once they flip, add missile tokens in accordance with how many missiles they should have. This number is indicated in parentheses next to the number of dice they'll roll for each missile to attack.
Ha! Out of range. You don't detect anything, you nerd.
To simulate the fog of war, players must first declare their intent before measuring distance. Player 2 indicated that he would like to detect a unit, but the unit is too far.
Dang it!
Player 1's formation only had the option to fly during Action 1. The formation's fighters both have a speed of 2, which, as a reminder, is measured in card diameters. If one was slower, the formation could only go as fast as the slowest aircraft. Both players' actions initiate and resolve at the same time, but detection registers at the initiation of an action while shots resolve at the end. Player 1's formation flies toward Player 2's SAM for Action 1.
Now you're gonna get it. Action 2, baby!
When Action 1 is complete, move the turn order token and begin action 2.
So, what are you going to do?
No, what are you going to do?
If neither player wants to declare their intent first, compare each unit's agility. Units with higher agility can force units with lower agility to announce what they will do first. In this case, blue has the higher agility and decides red must declare intent first. Comparing agility does not reveal unit cards.
My lowest agility is 8.
Dang, mine's 6. I guess I'll detect that one.
Players must indicate which specific card they'd like to detect or shoot.
Which one?
The one closest to my Sam.
It's my multi-role fighter. Surprise!
Oh.
Player 2's detect resolves at the initiation of Action 2, but Player 1's shot resolves at the end of Action 2.
All right. I'm gonna shoot your Sam with my formation. You're in my range of 2. How about this?
Formations can add their missiles together to ensure a high probability of kill. Units in formation can independently detect and shoot, as well, adding together or splitting missile tokens.
Haha. You can't shoot an air-to-air missile at a SAM. Now who's the nerd?
Oh no. What a waste.
Loadouts for units are on each card. A-A is air-to-air. A-S is air-to-surface. Remember to refer to the rules of engagement to spell out any acronyms. When looking at a unit card's armament, the first number is the number of dice rolled for each missile token. The second number, in parentheses, is the number of missile tokens.
Well, I still might get you. Dice roll, go.
Dice rolls determine the effectiveness of missile tokens.
7. Did that do it?
Nope. You're gonna need more than that.
Dice rolls must match or beat a unit's defense to destroy the unit card. Repeat the turn order cycle until both players agree to end the round, or vol.
All right. Issue orders. Let's go.
Okay. Issue orders.
Last, we'll cover win conditions. After no player can, or wishes to engage, attrition points are tallied. If a player still has their HQ card, they can also bunker down, which removes them and their cards from play after 4 actions or 2 turns. Players bunkering down may not issue orders or order units during those 4 actions. Different cards have different attrition point values. The HQ card is worth 10 attrition points. The player with the most attrition points at the end of the game wins. There are multiple ways to play as the cards are really just pieces. We recommend playing the air skirmish version of the game for beginners, which consists of only 1 vol. Reference the rules of engagement for more details on how to play. The rules describe special capabilities for unit cards that have them. Thanks for watching. Have fun, you nerds!